Welcome back to my channel. So guys, today I'm also busy filming another episode which should be going up tonight. It's quite a long one, and it's for my vegetarian lasagna. But it's such a nice day that I do intend to go on with my filming for tomorrow, and I don't really have too much to do today except to come home and finish making the lasagna. But I do want to get out there and get some fresh air. So I doubt that I'll be buying anything. I just want to, take in some fresh air. And I really, we're going to be getting bad weather later on this week. So I really want to enjoy what I can of the good weather. And I will see you on the road sometime soon. Bear in mind that I'll also be filming for tonight's video. Usually I have it up and running by now. Today is Sunday. But because it took so many steps and procedures, I know that lasagna, when I made the traditional lasagna last summer, it took me so many uploads to do the lasagna, but I'm putting it all into one movie this time, and it's coming along great. So I will be uploading that very soon, and so by now you will have already seen it. And so anyway, I'm going to get my day started. It's a little late, but not hopelessly late. And maybe I can water my plants later on sometime, and hopefully wash the floors before I continue with my cooking. Anyway, I will catch up with you a little bit later. Hi guys, so I've stopped along the road, and I'm about to go for a walk. And I tried earlier to tell you, my situation right now with comments, and I ended up not posting the footage because I don't like doing stuff like that. But I'm on the lookout for hateful content, especially when it's aimed at other people or other groups. And I don't know why that I feel so strongly about this, and I'm working towards finding a solution, a way of resolving issues around hate. And if I don't necessarily agree with all sorts of freedom of speech when it involves violence and hate. I don't think it's constructive to express violence or hatred for anybody or anything. And so that's essentially it. Um, somebody who persists on demeaning another YouTuber or another group or a person, um, and resorting to criminal tactics in order to suppress and oppress that person or group, they need to be looked at seriously, because most often that's a very big indicator of organized crime. And guys, I I I think if we live in a world that we love, we don't do things like that. But if we live in a world that we absolutely loathe and detest, there's something really wrong. It has to be stopped. It has to be helped and nurtured back to health. Do you agree or not agree? I'm not sure. By now, guys, I realize that I'm going to be hopelessly late for my vegetarian lasagna tonight, which I am posting on another video. But it may be that this vlog will go up before that. And if that will be the case, in any case, tonight you will most likely be hearing a discussion on hypothyroidism. Boy, I can't even get out the simplest words. Hypothyroidism, which is a very common health issue among North American populations. And so I'm going to speak a little bit about that and the vitamins and minerals that are involved in that issue to one extent or another. Now, people with hypothyroid problems don't necessarily have hypothyroid, or it could be overactive or underactive. So I'm not going to be giving any advice. I'm just going to be pointing out what some of the experts have been saying. And if you fall into either of these two categories, be sure to connect with a medical expert who cares. If you find yourself surrounded by someone who doesn't care or doesn't see eye to eye or doesn't necessarily probe all the various angles that you think could be looked into, maybe it's time for a little second opinion or a little switch. I'm sure that health professionals are used to being second guessed all the time, so don't worry about hurting their feelings. Your health is more important than that client or doctor-patient relationship, I would imagine. So anything that puts you at ease is worth trying. Okay, guys, on for my walk, and it is pushing on about 44 degrees right now, so I think I better do this before the sun drops and the temperatures plummet. So here we go. Hi guys. So, um, I hope that I didn't offend anybody again. Things are pretty rough right now. Um, Regarding what I was speaking to you about just previously in the car, and those strange things that have been happening. Remember when I was talking to you about a motorist who was behaving strangely and had a pistol, was stopped at the side of the road and kept waiting for me. Well, again, it started up again very, very suddenly. And I have a feeling that um, although I don't know what exactly is at the bottom of all this and why I'm being targeted on virtual, uh, non existent roads, I have to bring the RCMP again into this. And luckily, my dash cam recorded all of the license plates because I don't want to explain too much, but I wasn't exactly alone today. And so a lot of it was recorded by another party. And because they are trying to catch the people responsible for a number of crimes and shooting deaths in the city, um, motor related, vehicle related crimes as well. And so it seems that whenever there's a spurt of crimes going on in the city, um, I suddenly become a target again. And so that's why certain people are invested in finding out who is at the bottom of some of these ridiculous and horrendous, hateful crime sprees that are going on in the city against innocent people, really, even children. It's unbelievable. And so later on, I really hope to discuss with you two topics squished into one. First, I want to go into vitamin K4, and then I want to go into the thyroid issue and vitamins and minerals that are connected to thyroid deterioration and thyroid health. So I do want to touch on that because I noticed from an online search that it is quite a common and very widespread health problem. Again, I am suggesting that if you haven't already checked out this channel, Dr. Eric Berg has given some wonderful tips, and he is qualified, I'm not. He has given some wonderful tips as to numerous health issues that crop up in human life. And so I was having so many problems last year, so many issues with gut health and, weird symptoms and very uncomfortable symptoms. And within a matter of hours, I was on my road to recovery after coming across this channel. And you know how pages in YouTube are suggested to you? Well, that's how I found him. And within minutes, I was on my way to, following his advice. I thought I would try it since the family doctor I went to was kind of stumped. And he said that it was because my teeth were deteriorated. I should say from grinding. He thought it was from grinding, but I don't grind my teeth. He was so way off, but he didn't know me that well at the time, so I was desperate for more ideas. So Dr. Eric Berg, whom I've never met, managed to help. And so I will recommend his channel again to any people out there who may be suffering from issues and they don't know what they are. So maybe, you know, going by your symptoms or going by your genetic predispositions or your past health, you know, you can figure out what the problem might be. I know that when you have symptoms that pop up out of the blue, it can be very scary, and it can be, you know, a really mysterious riddle that can never become quickly enough solved. So Dr. Eric Berg, and I will link his channel below at the end of this video. So, you know, if you really want to check out a good health channel, that would be a good place to start. And anyway, guys, I'm filming for another video, so excuse me while I go make my vegetarian lasagna. I'll talk to you a little bit later, maybe even tomorrow, who knows. Hi, everybody. In case you're wondering, it's the next day, and I look like this because, well, I'll explain it in tomorrow's vlog. So, here we are tonight. I'm back home, and I was thinking that we should go over vitamin K4, which is not actually a vitamin, but another synthetic compound, just like vitamin K3. And so what I wanted to mention about vitamin K4 is that it is actually referred to as mannadiol, or various mannadiol esters like mannadiol diacetate, mannadiol dibutyrate, or mannadiol dimalonate. So vitamin K4 actually means phosphate or sulfate salts. And like mannadiol sodium diphosphate or mannadiol sodium disulfate. So vitamin K4, VK4, is a synthetic hydrophilic mannadione compound, which is clinically used as hemostasis medicine treatment. And so it has been found that several vitamin Ks do have inhibitory effects on certain cancer cells. And so there is no actual conclusion drawn from any studies or reports that VK4 compounds are actually involved in anti-cancer activity. So there again you have it. We know that it improves something, but we don't know how or where or why or whatever. More research is needed. And so our very primary goal would be for scientists to investigate the inhibitory effect of VK4 on human male prostate cells and mechanisms involved in that. So VK4 inhibited cell proliferation is quite important. Staining results show that VK4 caused DNA to fragment in PC3 cells. So also VK4 induced cell cycles that stopped at an S phase, a certain phase of development, and so it stopped the cancer. In plain words, it stopped cancer. We don't know how or what. It's just that specific prostate cancer. And further studies reveal that VK4 targeting of cancerous cells apoptosis is associated with the disruption of the cell membrane that is involved or present in cancerous cells. So this VK4, this vitamin K4, is very, very useful and should be it's useful in further studies for cancer research, and should be, the central aim of various cancerous research studies involving the prostate. And it's so interesting, guys, but we don't know exactly how or why. We just know that it does reduce and destroy cancerous cells. Now, like I said, not enough research has been done, but certain studies that have been done up to date have found that it completely destroyed the cells. And so that is very good to know. However, you have to bear in mind what I told you when we discussed vitamin K3. Vitamin K3 had similar properties, but not enough is known yet, and it damages liver. Vitamin K3 damages the liver. So there you go, guys. We don't know exactly what would be in the agenda next in terms of cancer research. Will they continue researching with VK4, or will they throw in VK3? I think they're going to be doing studies, if they're not already ongoing. There's a great many PubMed articles that have been written on this. And, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to sit here and give you advice. I'm just saying, be aware, because these chemical compounds are in infancy. We know them as infants. We don't know an awful lot about them. And what could cure one thing could devastate another part of any person's life or body, for that matter. So we don't know enough yet. And it's a shame, because if this is true, and we could find a way to have the vitamins work in ways that don't damage any other body organs, then they're worth studying, they're worth using, they're worth using for treatment. It's all very new and up in the air right now, but I think that this is why we donate to hospitals, isn't it? So that we could, indicate on our little checks, on our checkbooks, what exactly we want to use that donation for. And this kind of study might be one of them. It's interesting to know that research is making progressions like this possible, but we're not out of the woods yet. I mean, we're far from finding a cure for all types of cancer. But wouldn't it be wonderful if we could keep going down the alphabet and finding more and more compounds that do similar things for other cancerous illnesses? And so, all right, that was just our discussion on vitamin K4. I'm going to be linking some articles and posting some hashtags that might be useful in case you want to research more on vitamin K4. For now, I think we'll leave it at that. And what I wanted to bring up was the issue of hypothyroidism. And there are two conditions that I want to talk about. but I think I'm only going to cover one of them tonight. And this is hypothyroidism, which is the underactive thyroid gland. And so the other one is hyperthyroidism, which is the overactive thyroid gland. And guys, it's very involved. This goes on, my notes go on for pages and pages. I thought I would never finish. But this is very important, not only because it's common, but because many people don't realize, myself included, that the onset of any thyroid situation is very gradual. You know what I'm saying? And so what might be looking like, oh, I use too much hair color, my hair is getting this and that. No, that could also be an effect of a non-functioning thyroid gland. So I want to make everybody aware that, again, I am not a medical doctor. Okay, so if you've got that, we're on the right track. I'm not a medical doctor, and there are always, even in books, articles, issues regarding controversy and how to interpret certain data and things like that. We, like I just said about vitamin K4, we are still in the infancy of acquiring all the knowledge necessary for us to take, steps forward in curing these diseases that can be at times so frustrating and never seem to have a cure. But we have to continue with research and, especially for the vitamins that are not that do not exist naturally in the world, but are synthetic and chemical compounds, especially those, because we don't know too much about them, right? We don't eat them. So those are the ones that we really need to focus on, other than, the typical vitamin A, B, C, D, all of those. I'm talking about these unknown things. I think that if we take bigger steps in helping researchers, I think that we could start making a big difference. But I don't know. Once that money is out of your pocket, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where that research is going to go. So sometimes you really need to be very specific, even when you're going to a doctor, as to what information you are seeking, what information is pertinent to your health condition. And so, remember that when you're talking to any doctor, make sure that if you have a question, you ask it at the right time, because doctors are busy and don't always have the time to backtrack and schedule another appointment for the same thing, Okay, so let's talk about hypothyroidism, which is the underactive thyroid. I just want to stop for a second and mention a couple of things before we go on. Number one, this is important, and so whether you're interested or not, you might want to enable subtitles, because virtually I have every language encoded into my videos, and so all you have to do is go to the captions and click on auto-generated and then put in your language, and there we go. But so many of you speak English very well, except for those who can't follow my rules. I'm just trying to be helpful and saying you might want to do that in case you miss something. You can see it in the captions this is going to be a little bit detailed, but I'm only going to go over hypothyroidism, and I'll leave the other topic, hyperthyroidism, for tomorrow's video. So here we go. Also, the second thing I wanted to mention is that two famous YouTubers who've been living abroad, when I say abroad, I mean in Asia, they are actually getting married. They've become engaged, and so I don't know if I want to blurt it out, but it's on the internet. And if you are a subscriber, it's a man and a woman who are both living in one Asian city. One is British and the other is Canadian, and they're coming together in marriage. And so one of them has a thyroid, maybe even both of them, I'm not sure. But one of them has just, I know that she went through a surgery in Florida about a year ago. And it was for her thyroid, and it affected her voice. But she was fine. There was no cancer there. She's so sweet, guys, and I may link the channels below, but I don't know if I want to do that. Anyway, she's developing this thyroid condition. I'm not sure exactly if it's underactive or overactive, but I thought, because I know it's a common issue, I would go over it in honor of that famous YouTube couple. Now they're going to become a famous couple. Right now, the internet doesn't exactly know who exactly she may be engaged to, but lo and behold, I just happen to be following, subscribed to both of their channels, and they came together. I just love that, don't you? And so now they're getting married, and I'm subscribed to both of their channels, so I know who they are. They're both wonderful. I think they're wonderful people, and they have great channels. So, for all the people who are in need of becoming aware of what some of the, now I'm not going to go over the symptoms. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you what I know about the condition itself, and the foods and the vitamins that are essential. I'm going to go over that. But if you want to study up on the symptoms, I will link up some articles below, and you do that on your own. Because, guys, I'm not going to, I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to advise you what to do if you have the symptoms. I want you to see if you have the symptoms, and then you decide what you can do about it, because the help is out there. So here we go. Hypothyroidism, what is it? It's an underactive thyroid. And so the body does need iodine, which is salt, to produce thyroid hormones. And so if it's underactive, that's just not there, right? But because the body does not make iodine, it gets it from diet. People need to consume it. You know what I'm saying? So what are some foods that are rich in iodine? Cheese, milk, of course, salt, saltwater fish, seaweed, whole eggs. Those are the foods that you would naturally want to include in your diet if you've been told that you have an underactive or hypothyroid issue. You know what I mean? It's listen on. This is so detailed. So listen on. Now there are various minerals and vitamins that are beneficial to the person who has a hypothyroid issue. And so selenium, it's a micronutrient that plays a role in the production of thyroid hormones, and it has antioxidant properties. So thyroid tissue naturally contains selenium, and selenium helps prevent thyroid disease, and it does improve overall health as well. So, selenium is a trace element that plays a really crucial. It's also, how do I put this? It is in itself an antioxidant substance, and so it protects the thyroid gland from oxidative stress. And I think I've mentioned that phrase in other contexts before when speaking about vitamins. And so I know that we have also spoken on the thyroid before. Well, here it is again. And I think it was in context of selenium. So let's go and see what else selenium does. And so one of its primary roles is to regulate the immune system. It prevents tissue damage in the thyroid. It is a very potent immunomodulator. And so intake of selenium supplements shows that it can decrease the thyroid productive antibodies. You know what I'm talking about. It decreases the antibodies in the thyroid. So which could indicate Hashimoto's disease, which is usually coexisting with the underactive thyroid. So deficiency in selenium interferes with thyroid hormone metabolism by inhibiting the conversion of the T4, which is the enzyme that is produced in the thyroid. So, guys, essentially, this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I think it's important that I also mention, because it's not immediately clear, at least not to me, is that although a thyroid issue, either too much or too little, can be related to vitamins, deficiencies, overdoing it, minerals, it can be related to that, but it also it has to do with how your body responds to all these nutrients and how it breaks them down. And so there may be an issue there. It doesn't always necessarily mean that you are simply deficient, so you have to start taking a vitamin. No. Please do not, you can try what you want to try, but what I'm saying is that, especially in the cases of vitamin K3 and 4, you cannot always assume that it's just a minor, it can be fixed with a supplement. Sometimes it can be fixed, yeah. It can be really an improvement. It can fix whatever it is. But if you're genetically predisposed and you know that it's just it might progress and progress and progress, then it's time to really take control. Vitamins may not be the only solution. I don't know what will be. That's why I'm saying always consult a medical doctor. I'm just trying to introduce you to the issue and, some of the foods and minerals and vitamins that play roles in it. So, what could you eat in order to uptake your selenium? Well, Brazil nuts, tuna, shrimp, beef, turkey, all animal products, ham, chicken, eggs, oatmeal, brown rice. Okay. What else could you take in? Zinc. Zinc is known for its essential purpose in supporting the immune system, and it is a powerful catalyst for around 100 enzyme processes in your body. So, it's very necessary for protein and DNA synthesis, growth and development of a fetus or a young child, tissue healing. Our bodies do not have a way to store zinc. Zinc is not in us. And so it has to be ingested through foods or supplements. But it's not like a chemical, total chemical, it's not like it's not the same as vitamin K4 or vitamin K3. It actually does exist in the natural world, just not in us. So, foods containing zinc can really benefit people who come back from a blood test with low levels of thyroid hormones. And so zinc supplementation alone or with selenium supplementation can improve thyroid function in females with hypothyroidism. It doesn't talk about males. Maybe it doesn't exist in males. I don't know. That part I don't know. Usually when I hear about thyroid problems, it's always in conjunction with a female. It's always been like that, but I don't know. Maybe it's not true. Zinc foods include oysters, beef, crab, fortified cereals, pork, chicken, legumes, pumpkin seeds, and yogurt. Vitamin B is also important for hypothyroidism because B vitamins interact with the thyroid function directly, and they regulate the hormone function and processes. So, you should take I'm not going to say you should. I'm going to say you might take a nutritional supplement if your doctor suggests, and which includes the entire vitamin B complex, including vitamin B12, if the blood levels come back low. And so other nutrients like vitamin A and E are also needed for optimal thyroid function. That's a lot of vitamins, guys. Being deficient in one or more nutrients can negatively impact thyroid health and increase your risk of thyroid disease. And so, what your specific and individual propensity for thyroid disease is, I don't know. It's very individual. Genetics play a big part in that. So, magnesium, something my mother was low on, but I don't think it was the thyroid. Magnesium plays a critical role in vital functions, including blood pressure, blood glucose, metabolism, digestion, muscle and nerve functions, and sleep. Magnesium is responsible for over 300 enzyme reactions in the body, protein synthesis, for example. In many ways, magnesium is seen as a cure-all mineral that benefits every body organ and system. Wow, magnesium. So, for hypothyroidism, what are the foods to avoid and why? And so, certain nutrients do interfere with thyroid health if it's underactive. And so, foods rich in these nutrients should not be off limits, but they should be limited. You know what I'm saying? The restriction of intake of these foods will help manage with hypothyroidism. And so I'm going to list some foods for you. Goitrogen compounds affect thyroid function in very copious and large amounts. But in regular amounts, go with Trojan vegetables such as broccoli, bok choy are beneficial for health. So it's not recommended to cut them out entirely. Just limit them. Pretend you're always on a diet, you know. Go with maybe a quarter of a cup or half a cup. You know what I'm saying? And take it from there. Cooking vegetables does deactivate goitrogenic compounds, and goitrogenic vegetables are green cruciferous vegetables such as collards, Brussels sprouts, Russian kale, broccoli, broccoli rabe, cauliflower, and cabbage. Soy. Soy interferes with the production of thyroid hormones. However, soy has no significant effect on thyroid levels. So, you see what I mean? It's a little complex. Identifying the effects of soy on the thyroid, it really involves and requires much more research. And so, foods that contain soy include soy milk, soy sauce, and edamame. Edamame? I don't know what that is. I guess I'm missing it from my diet. Tofu, miso, and that's it. So, those are all the goitrogen vegetables and foods. Gluten. People with hypothyroidism have celiac disease, and Hashimoto's and celiac disease are both types of the autoimmune disorder. And they usually develop in conjunction with another. Where one is, the other one is also there. So they're like companion pests, I guess. I don't know. So when you remove gluten from the diet, it does improve thyroid function in people with Hashimoto's who do not have celiac disease. So this disease causes chronic inflammation and damage to the small intestine due to the ingestion of gluten, a protein in wheat and other grains. And so that includes barley, oats, and rye. Wow. Yeah. Treating celiac disease involves switching to a gluten-free diet. And so if you have the hypothyroidism symptoms, which you're going to research on your own, or you're going to go and talk to a doctor about, could try cutting out gluten-free products just to see. Maybe not cutting them out permanently, but just for a trial run to see. And whether the symptoms that you're having improve. Processed foods. Okay, this is a biggie. And if it involves chips that come in a bag filled with salt, that's my passion. So, reducing the intake of processed foods and sugars improves symptoms, manages weight, and boosts health. So what are the examples of processed foods? Well, we could go on for days. Fast food, hot dogs, donuts, cakes, cookies, and soda. Wow. Well, that says it all. Isn't that your normal, average, typical, everyday diet? It is for some people I know. Vitamin A, which is known as retinol, is a fat-soluble organic compound that is key in vision, the immune system, reproduction, and cellular communication. 4 months of vitamin A did reduce the serum in the it reduced something that made the thyroid much healthier. And I'm sorry, I can't get much more into that because it's got all these alphabetized hashtags and I don't know what they stand for, but it's a serum that is produced in your thyroid. And so vitamin A improved that. And so by modulating those enzyme levels, vitamin A supported the pituitary gland and prevented enlargement of the thyroid gland. Vitamin A reduces the risk for autoimmune processes. So that's pretty good. Vitamin D3. Now guys, in case you're just tuning in right now, I'm still on hypothyroidism. I'm not on hypothyroidism. I'm doing that in another video. So vitamin D3 is critical for bone health and for the prevention of osteoporosis. And these were actually one of the other vitamins that I was going to go over with you again, probably in another video. This mineral helps the body absorb calcium and phosphorus. They're both essential for building bones and for strengthening them and for repairing them. So people with hypothyroidism typically have low vitamin D levels. And that contributes also to joint and muscle pain. Low levels of vitamin D contribute also to leaky gut. So that could have been me, especially last winter, which may be also involved with other autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's. By increasing vitamin D intake, your digestive system begins to be okay, begins to repair itself. So you might even see an improvement in your thyroid levels after a blood test, maybe. So vitamin B12. Wow, this list goes on and on. Oh, no, we're the last one. Vitamin B12. All right, this is kind of important. Deficiency in vitamin B12 is common, and so it's usually associated with hypothyroidism and can contribute also to anemia. Anemia is found in over half of hypothyroid patients. So you might want to take note on that. If you're anemic, that's a big sign. Always one symptom is an indication of another disease. So it's funny how they stick together too. And usually doctors don't talk, at least not in my experience, they don't talk about anemia and hypothyroidism together, do they? But maybe they shouldn't. It's just weird, you know what I'm saying? To find out that they're so intertwined. Okay, so one symptom I will mention is fatigue. And so, weariness, lack of energy. That's the only symptom I'm going to mention. So if you want to find out if you are hypothyroid, if you do have hypothyroidism, you need to really see a doctor. You need to take blood tests. You should do it, guys. If you are really suspecting something, as I mentioned before, you need to do some research and make sure. Go to the doctor, of course, but you need to do some research on the symptoms and then take it from there. And so a B12 supplement can greatly improve the hypothyroid symptoms and the way it works is that it increases the number of healthy red blood cells, and it kind of casts away the ones that are, so. These cells deliver oxygen, fresh blood from the B12 vitamin that puts that in motion. And it sends it to your tissues and promotes energy into your metabolism. And so it makes everything hunky-dory. But I would say, a simple supplement may work, but it's not always the case. I'm just going by logic here. Please, guys, do not take anything that I say as written in stone. I'm not saying anything except this is the general consensus according to medical practice and research. Go to the doctor. Get a blood test. And if you're having health issues, you know what I mean? If you're experiencing symptoms, go. And it never hurts to check it out. I know it's scary. Believe me, I've been, had things growing on my skin. I didn't want to look at it or talk about it. But in the end, I had to go to the doctor, And so it never hurts to go to the doctor. But, always try to be as prepared as you can. Go with questions. If you're taking any supplements, go with the supplements. If you're healthy overall, you shouldn't be needing to take any supplements. So that's my take on it. So guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Some of it is dry. Okay, some of this discussion is dry, but it's still very important, and I wish that we could get through all of these conditions. Maybe I'll do diabetes and PCOS and things like that, just because they're so common, and people can really walk away with something from a vlog like this. I've been researching this for about 3 or 4 days now, and I still haven't finished. So really take in what I said, and if you do want to know if you have hypothyroidism, do an online search or go to a medical book, go to a library, go to a doctor, go to a pharmacist. The information is there. You just need to be brave enough to access it. I know it's scary to look it up, but might as well do it. And catch it while it's still controllable. And sometimes, things can get out of hand, Hopefully, if you have anything like this, you've caught it in time. And that's all I'm going to say, because it's uncomfortable to live with that. So anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. I have to film another video now. I'm going to be baking bread because I have no more bread. And so I hope that you join me again tomorrow for our discussion on hyperthyroidism, which is the overactive thyroid gland. And so thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.